咁請 invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional. For today's items only, the investment we're going to talk today will be ETH. First, I want to say happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope a great week, by the way. With respect to recording time of 9:37 a.m. on the Eastern Time, Ethereum could trade $4,760, up about 2.76% so far. On the overall market, you could see clearly it's a kind of a mixed bag. Some coins a little bit more prominently, on the uprise. But I would say collectively, the majority of the market is, driving some bullishness because of the fact that today is the first day of December. So there are some sector rotations that's going on right now, but also with respect to the rebound that we have, that we're experiencing across the market. Ever since the Omicron news that got broken out, I would say on last Friday specifically, that obviously drives some sell-off from, due to fear mongering because of the uncertainty of the COVID variants cases. And then subsequent to that, Jerome Powell has given us the testimony alongside Janet Yellen yesterday in front of the lawmakers on the economic outlook going forward, right, with respect to how, the U.S. government is going to be triangulating the Omicron COVID variants cases, right? And what Jerome has mentioned, and this is something that we've already heard from Joe Biden recently as well, is that it's going to be a collaborative effort alongside with the U.S. scientists on firstly doing research and understanding this COVID variants, this Omicron virus, and then subsequently operationally and tactically, but also in a budgetary perspective, identify a path for us to, firstly create the vaccines, but also distribute to, and also obviously the most important thing, getting the FDA approval firstly, so it doesn't kill people, to mitigate the cases going forward, right? And ultimately, based on the verbiage that we've heard so far from Jerome, it seems like the inflationary pressure is still going to be uncertain, right, because of the COVID news. But ultimately, his key mandate from the Federal Reserve is to triangulate between the job numbers versus the asset purchasing, obviously the quantitative tapering. So we'll see how that goes, but obviously the timeline seems to be going to be dragged out a little bit more because of the uncertainty of the COVID news, right? With that affectation, drove some sell-off again, right? So it's like a sell-off on specifically last Friday, durates until the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. On Sunday was a slight rebound, but and then we kind of trailed on sideways fashion, kind of normalizing until the Jerome Powell and the Janet Yellen testimony yesterday on Tuesday, and today is the sector rotation. So that was the historical, chronological order of a step by step, if you may, right? So let's look at some of the news real quick. Obviously, we're rebounding right now. Seems like the cup and handle is forming, which is great. That means that we're going to see more bullishness coming, specifically for Ethereum. For Bitcoin, we'll see how that goes. So on the news front, Bazinga about 8 hours ago talked about Ethereum record outperform against Bitcoin, sends it to a new all-time high today, ? So that's something we'll see, right? Or this article came out about 6 hours ago, so we will watch, if we're going to break all-time high again, right, that's going to be the first resistance level. And then we're going to dip down back to 4,500 because it's a handle, right? We need to form that cup. And the rim is closing in at the 4,870, right? As we get there, we're going to have a little slight dip, which makes sense because we had the RSI scale of 60 out of 70. And at the same time, the MACD needs to cross at a logical manner. You can't just go up one shot, right? So we're going to go up and then normalize a bit and then going to incur another surge after that. That will be the technical cup and handle in fruition. And there's a very prominent setup that we're seeing right now. The next one's on Bazinga about 13 hours ago. Talk about Ethereum outshines Bitcoin. Shiba Inu leaves Dogecoin in dust. Are we in for explosive alt season? So it seems like the news are being a little bit more bullish now in comparisons to days before. I could have sworn that we were very negative among the media affectation, which obviously drove the sell-off that we've had, the last couple of days, right? So ultimately, the technicals never lie, so we'll see how that goes. The next one's a Bazinga about 15 hours ago. Talk about Bored Ape 784. Sold for 76 Ethereum today. So it seems like there's more transaction being made among the NFT community. The next one's on Bazinga about 16 hours ago. Talk about Ethereum shows signs of life amid crypto market turmoil. So another technical related news around the surge or the foreshadow of Ethereum if we're gonna sustain this bullishness. The next one's on Cointelegraph about 17 hours ago, talk about Ethereum approaches a new all-time high, but derivatives data reflects a mixed emotions. Mixed emotions. I'm not so sure about what that really means. I think obviously people have different speculative point of view. Majority of people are thinking investing as a form of emotional initiative. So I'm not sure about mixed emotions, but if you look into the data, we can tell that the technicals right now is at a relatively bullish setup, right? We are forming a cup and handle slowly. Obviously, the cup is still like about $100 away for us to form it, but it seems logical and seems like it is coming into fruition. And as we're gonna get there, we're gonna form a cup, which is the rim, and then we're gonna dip to the $4,510, and then that will be forming a handle or the lowest that'd be like 4,320 based on how it's set up right now, and then we're gonna continue to search from there, right? So we'll see how that goes. Like I keep saying, the next one's on Bitcoin. Bitcoiners talk about with respect to Bitcoin trades more like a risk asset than an inflation hedge as Powell signals faster tapering. So yeah, this is something that it was a quite interesting momentum that we saw Bitcoin yesterday. Despite Ethereum surging yesterday, Bitcoin was relatively flat yesterday, right? Um, it seems like as an inflationary hedge, Ethereum is being the better representation for that. While Bitcoin is it is a form of a hedge, for some respective investors based on their appetites, but it was not surging as prominently as we were seeing with respect to Ethereum. I think Ethereum was up about 4% yesterday, while Bitcoin is up about like 0.20% yesterday, which was quite interesting based on investment or investor sentiment at the moment right now. So that's pretty much the news front. Let's dive into the technicals now. So it seems like Ethereum is currently forming a cup and handle. We are forming a golden cross as well. We are the 60 out of 70. So we will technically leap up to the next level, the 4,871, which is the all-time high, right? As we get there, I foresee it's going to be some sort of consolidation because of the fact that we have some consolidation up above, but also because this is a flat all-time high level that we've formed, right? So ideally, as we get there, and I think by the time we get there, we're going to be close to 70, and then we're going to come back down a little bit to the 4,521, or the worst to be like 4,414 to the 4,350, right? And that will technically form us like a little U, like a handle, right? Because you need to have a handle to drink your cup of coffee. So we see how that goes, right? It seems like that's how the movie should be playing out going forward, but we keep an eye out on it, right? Respect to Bitcoin, we are slowly forming a golden cross. It's definitely lag behind in comparisons to Ethereum. You can see that we haven't even formed a golden cross yet, but we are at like a high 50s. And what we need to do for us to confirm the golden cross would be for us to breach all the way up to the all-time high all over again. So we're like basically $11,000 away. And I think that could be logical because we do have some room to run up to. And I think Bitcoin is just being a little bit delayed at the moment. It's gonna follow through as the overall market's gonna pump. So I think Bitcoin is kind of like a sleeping giant at the moment right now in terms of the setup. So I would not, it's not a terrible buy for us to incur some risk in Bitcoin at the moment. Dogecoin is still a good setup. I was dollar cost average now all the way until 1950, but right now it's not a terrible level. We are at the 41, and we are about to form the golden cross as well. Cardano seems like it's reversing with the 36 out of 70. We are closing in on the MACD front as well. So Cardano's not a terrible buy either. It seems like the bottom was at the 140, so which is great. It seems like despite the eToro suspension, I think we're gonna the thing is gonna work itself out, go over time. So not a terrible level to incur some risk, a minimal one right now. Solana right now, we are about on the cusp of forming a golden cross. We have the 60 out of 70. So ideally, we are basically in new territory. We might see some resistance coming in at the 236 and 240. 240 is a flat number. So the surge that we're seeing right now is mainly dragged up by the overall altcoin market, not specifically for Solana. So something to watch out for. But if we form that golden cross, we're gonna break all-time high all over again. And this seems like a cup and handle, just like similarly to Ethereum as well. So something to watch out for. And then with respect to XRP at the moment right now, we broke 101. So the next level technically will need to get up to 110. So we see how that goes. Right now, the 43 out of 70. So it's not a terrible buy at the level that we at right now for XRP. Polkadot's right now, it's at the down 0.47% with the 43 out of 70 curving up right now. So not a terrible level either. Like anywhere from like the 34, 35 all the way to 25 is still a good level. I know we're like $3 away, but that's not a terrible level still, right? I know the dip was probably much better when we were at the 34, but I think the current level is not a bad level for risk versus reward ratio perspective. Algorand's at the 194 right now. We form a golden cross, so we're going to keep leaping up. Ideally, we are at the resistance level at the 194 because we try to get above $2, but we couldn't get there. But I think we still have some room to run up to. It might be a little bit delayed right now, but not a bad setup. But in terms of like, would I be buying now? I'd probably buy other coins instead of Algorand because of the risk versus reward ratio that we're seeing right now. The dip was basically at the 160 to 152, right? And I know a lot of my friends here that I've been talking about that 160 into 152 was the dip, and I know some of you guys actually caught the dip. Shiba Inu is at down about 2.32% right now. We're on the cusp of forming a golden cross with the 50 out of 70. So ideally, right now, we have to see, right? For me, I'm still more risk averse. I'll wait until like we cool back down to the 2800 to the 900, anywhere in between. Right now, we are at the cusp of forming a golden cross. So if we're gonna form it, right, and I think it could be. But there isn't anything substantive above this level. We'll go up to the next level at the peak at the 6265, or ideally to the frame of 7,000 above where we at right now. So we'll see how that goes. If you want to incur some risk on Shiba Inu right now, it's not terrible, but not the best either, right? It's up to your risk aversion, right? Obviously, there are a lot of flavors in the menu that you could pick from. Some are more favorable than others based on what we talked about, right? So respect to risk management levels, I know that we are close to or in a more of a within the proximity of these frame of levels that we have identified here. So let me know if you have any specific questions. Ultimately, these are my conservatism that I am reminding myself as I'm executing on my trades. So let me know how I can be helpful. Really appreciate you for joining me on this Wednesday again. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. Time is really flying by. It's just been a busy week so far. But it seems like it's December already. Next thing you know, it's going to be New Year's. Time is really flying. But really appreciate you for joining me on a daily basis. I really appreciate your friendship and support, most importantly. Let's get this money and let's grow together and rise together. I really appreciate you. It takes a village to be building upon the platform that we're collectively building. Like, it's not just me, it's about you guys as well. So thank you so much, and have a nice day, and take care and stay tuned for come up. Take care. Bye.